Well, hello, and welcome to another tank replay. I'm CornyBros, and welcome to a really large game on Kursk. There's 1,000,000 players on both teams, and much fun will be had. This is the Skies for Heroes event that they've been putting out rather randomly. Seems like they've been testing it. I noticed when I first tried to do this earlier in the day, there was one game where I could only spawn in the vehicle I had just selected just generically before, so like whichever vehicle was sitting in the window was the only vehicle I could use, even though I had tons and tons of points to use. And another time I took out a Tiger and I died and had enough points for another vehicle, but it wouldn't let me. I don't know if those are bugs or whatever, but you know, hopefully they get fixed. But this is a game on Kursk. The event is tier 2 and 3, and so I had already played the Russians multiple times. And I was like, well, I'm gonna give the Germans a go, because honestly, I feel like this event is decently balanced. Because I've seen it both ways. I've seen the Russian teams absolutely stomp. I've seen the German teams absolutely stomp, and I've seen some really close games. And games like this where they're just fantastic battles. And I kind of like, that's what I really like about Reach for the Skies, or not Reach for the Skies, Skies for Heroes. Reach for the Skies is a YouTube channel. I've seen him comment on a lot of things. But anyway, it's just a good event, I feel like. It's a good game mode. I wish it was more prevalent. I'm glad that it's the main game mode in Simulator. To kind of pick up where this battle is I killed some AI, and then I knock out this T-3485, I believe it was. And usually with the Germans, I go along the southern part of the map, but this Panther's fast enough, I felt like, well, I'll just run out over here. I'll give this side a go again. If I sit on the downslope of the hill, it's going to be really hard for him to come at me. And it lets me really use this gun. And even though I hadn't played the Panther in a long time, you know, German guns are something that's not hard to pick back up. And, you know, the rate of fire is good, the accuracy at range is good. And I'm getting better at estimating actual ranges. Like looking at a target and saying that's about 800 so meters or whatever, and being able to get shots on target. It sucks when you get your tracks blown off, but you know, whatever. You didn't do anything more critical. That's what you can always be thankful of, is when your tracks eat the shell for you. And I'm angled fairly well here. This game in particular, I think, really represents what I think this game. I guess why I prefer this game. I just lit him up and he died. Why I prefer, I think, War Thunder tanks over World of Tanks is that I mean, I guess this tank, it just feels more like a tank battle. You know, it just feels more immersive, I guess. It's like stuff explodes, especially on Kursk when there's tons of targets, and if you got 16 on 16 teams, and there's tons of targets, and there's tons of shells flying around, and there's planes in the air, and there's bombs hitting the ground. It just feels right, you know. But basically, kind of where we are in the game right now, I'm sitting on the side of this hill. I've knocked out a couple players, and just kind of farming up these AI, because we do have to, you know, keep their population down. It's kind of like I don't know, pigeon season. You got to keep the population down. This is a nice. Guy's at a pretty good range, but he's someone I definitely need to deal with, so I don't want him flanking me and getting 1,000,000 shots at my side. The gun's reloaded. Shoot him. Got him. Crit. It's a fire. There he goes. There he goes. That was a nice shot. That was a nice long range. I mean, this is where German tanks really excels, this type of engagement where the enemy are like, what's the distance there? That's about 800, 900 meters, maybe a little bit more. And I waited because I wanted to see if the fire was going to burn that guy up. I didn't want to rob anyone of the kill. because it's very, very easy to do. And I'm not, I guess kill stealing, I don't know if, it's very hard to in this game because everyone gets one shot. But this guy clearly had fire extinguishers and he clearly put out the fire, so I don't feel bad shooting him. And I've noticed that Russian teams on this map, a lot of times they'll go hide in those sandbags, and that's a really, really good position, I think. Especially for a tank with a good turret like a T-54 and things like, or maybe just a small turret like a T-44 or T-34-57, things like that. It's a really, really good spot because it's just so hard to hit at any range, and the German teams are going to stay at range. And I kind of get a little messed up here. I'm bouncing shots. I'm not 100% sure of everything that's shooting at me. There is an Su-152 out there. There's that T-34. I think that's a 57. There go my tracks, which is inconvenient, but nothing else. And I need to get my range right. And it's something I get caught doing. I'm sure you guys get caught doing. You aim at like the little icon that is actually slightly above their tank. It's not actually, I mean, their tank is actually below that. And I'll get caught aiming at that. There's an SU, I think that's a 152 or else it's a 122 way out there. It's also an IS-1 pushing up. He's kind of a problem. His gun is very dangerous, basically at all ranges. Gonna have to, you know, do some angling here to try and keep the tank safe. But my gun is damaged, so I decide, YOLO, I'm gonna fire. I'm repairing, and it's right here I make the decision. Okay, that's a tough shot. I was going for the fire, but if I can just sit here, I'm looking at my points. I have tons of score, like respawn points. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wait because my gun's not gonna be loaded a reasonable amount of time before there it is, guns loaded, and there's all my repairs, and I send the shell. I'm waiting to see because it's, and you know, a nice miss, but he misses the return shot, I think. There's a return shot. Yes, a hit. That's what we're talking about. This guy is sneaking up on me. Holy cow. I didn't see him actually until the last second. And my gun's blown out, rammed him, and then I was like, okay, this is a T-34E. I'll sit here, I can bounce it off my gunman, and I can just drop arty on him. And I'll just repair, because I might as well. But yeah, I've left myself kind of exposed right here, as you can imagine. Slide on to the enemy position, no gun. But like I said, that's why I really like Skies for Heroes event. I know that I get all my stuff repaired and I can move again. I really like this event mainly because it just allows players who are playing well to continue to play well and really have a special game. And I think at the end of the game you really run into the best of the enemy team and the best of your team, and just in that game, and it just makes the competition at the end of the game so much more. So to update, they've capped A, which is unfortunate. They have guys all the way basically flanking our entire spawn, which is also very unfortunate. And we're going to have to do something about it. My position is basically useless right now because there's just nothing I can do. I just can't, I can't have those guys on my flank and sit here because I got other guys approaching from the other side. And they're just going to shoot me in the back the second I turn. Which isn't the best. I'm sure you know. Ouch. Yep, and boom. Su-122 hit me. From the side, yeah, it's going to happen all day. But, you know, that's why I like this event. I have so many points now, I'm going to spawn a Tiger because the reason I was spawning as Tiger was I was figuring that they were all going to be rushing forward, and I kind of like the idea of having extra armor and a larger gun when facing a bum rush of T-34s and whatever. And the Su-122 I know isn't that effective against Tigers from the front unless it's at exceptionally close range, and I don't expect him to get to close range. But the key is we need to get into the cap circle. We need to stop their, break up the cap so we don't bleed tickets everywhere, bleed our blue tickets everywhere. We want to keep them. And this is the part I think that made the game really special, is that we're losing really hard. I've never seen a team come back after being capped, but we are sure going to give it a go, because we still have a bunch of players up. They still have a bunch of players up. They definitely have more than us, but you know. And actually, right here, I was chit-chatting with my couple of my buddies who were in the room, and I was like, "Here, I'll spin." They're like, "Go faster." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll spin the turret around, and I'll shoot behind me." Because that works with flying boats. If you shoot, you can go in reverse. So, okay, if I shoot behind me, I bet you I get a little bit of a speed boost. I think it kind of worked, too. I don't know, you be the judge. I think I got a little speed there. I think I gained a couple kilometers an hour or something there. But now, of course, I look like a derp and my turret is the wrong way around. So I'm going to need to spin that around. But the Tiger's a very pretty machine. Holy cow. The new model for it is gorgeous. And I did read, and I saw that they are removing those little headlight things, which honestly I haven't played this tank enough to really. I've played it enough. I've played it a lot in the past, but very recently I can't say I have. So I kind of don't notice issues like that. To some extent, I'm sure it's popped up, but I may not have known what it was. So basically right now I'm going to run forward, break up the cap at A, and then do my best to kind of just hold them off. If we get flanked, we get flanked. But the goal is to try and cap A so we can reset the tickets and get their tickets bleeding. Because in this game mode, when you lose tanks, you also lose tickets. And obviously that's undesirable. So I'm currently second on the team. Someone else is having an even better game. I'm having a pretty good game. But someone else is wrecking. So we're capping A. All they have to do is get into the cap, and they can stop us from capping. But that's kind of where the Tiger shines, is that if I can just sit here and bounce their shots from range, just angle myself and bounce them, then I feel pretty good about being able to defend this cap. I don't know if I'll be able to stop him from getting in the cap, but I can certainly give it a go. I thought that guy died. I'm not gonna lie. I switched targets because he disappeared. He is actually still there, and right there I realized, holy cow, he's still there. Oh my god. I mean, he dies anyway. So, you know, but it was a weird thing. It's a weird little bug. There are some bugs that are kind of annoying. But, you know, God, I just love it when the planes are flying above, well, Allied planes, obviously. I hate seeing enemy planes. That's just horrible. But it's just so cool. Like, yeah, it's just super cool. But they're all bum rushing the cap. You got a bunch of like T-34 types running in here, and we're gonna have to defend it and hopefully eventually cap. But the thing is, it's kind of the Russian advantage, though, right? I mean, realistically, there's a suspension. I would have liked to track him. I mean, real life, you know, Russians had hundreds of tanks and Germans had very few. Towards the end of the war, and Harris is tracked. But the Skies for Heroes, I think it really lets each nationality sort of come into its own. I think the battle is long enough, or a battle like this for certain, is long enough where the advantages of each side sort of come out. Like the Germans or the Russians have a bunch of medium tanks, very potent medium tanks that honestly people are just spamming, like T-34-85s, T-34-57s, you know, all kinds of stuff being sent our way, all with very dangerous guns. Outside of the Tiger and the Panther, there isn't a whole lot that the German teams can do in terms of kind of stemming the tide. So the Germans generally want to play back, you know, let the Russians come to them, and just kill them on the way in. But I don't know. But then the Russians, they have a bunch of fast tanks and they just bum rush, and if you can't kill them before they get to you, you're probably toast. And I think this segment of the game really exemplifies that. We got a T30. We got two T-34-85s are going to end up rushing, coming up on us here. I'm just sitting here in the cap and pounding away on these dudes, shooting them as they're available. So that guy's tracked. Look at him spin around. Lol. So I'm less worried about him. This guy doesn't have, I think, a vertical turret drive. Tracked him anyway. Doesn't matter. And right here, realistically, I should shoot the other one because, yep, I make that decision because his turret is actually moving. And there we go. There goes his gunner. And now this guy looks like he's trying to do something. That guy blows up. There goes his turret. That's so fantastic. I wish the turrets and stuff like laid on the ground, like in World Tanks, but you know, whatever. Knock both of them, get rid of both of them. And look at this. We're just in a field of just dead tanks. Just fires everywhere. Knocked out tanks. It's just cool. Here's a KV-1. Holy cow. He got in. Clearly that guy's running out of tanks. But he has enough points to spawn it in, so why not? And I guess I said before, that was a big hit on him. I guess I said before that I like how in War Thunder, you know, you have planes and tanks kind of interacting. It's fine and dandy, but it can be really annoying, you know, like when you're at a critical point of the game and all of a sudden you just, a bomber, like a year 2 or whatever, just basically ends your game, which is, I guess, why I'm in favor of Skies for Heroes, because if you get bombed out early on, or, well, if you get bombed out early on, you're boned either way. But if you have enough points to spawn again and you get bombed, it's okay because you can spawn again. Whereas, like, example, AR2 just blew me to hell. That was mean. I was sitting in the middle of an open field. We are still capping A though. I have another Panther. I have tons, buttloads of points, so I'm gonna spawn back in and give it a go. Yep, that one. Let's go. So I've spawned back in, and the situation is kind of dire at this point. We have so few tickets. They have so many planes in the air that they're just bombing us at will. We can't afford. Honestly, I don't think we can afford to have planes in the air. We need tanks on the ground, or else we're just not going to win because they can cap it. And even if everyone like decided to jump out of their planes and jump into tanks, you know, good luck. We wouldn't have enough time. So we all kind of need to be in tanks right now. But that also puts the ball in their court. Like, you know, they can pull out some year 2s and just carpet bomb the cap, and there's not a whole lot we can do. And this was annoying. I take the shot, and then literally right after I take the shot, I get the little lead indicator. Unfortunate, but whatever. And I really shouldn't have wasted time here. I mean, realistically, the game is kind of lost at this point. We're bleeding tanks, we're bleeding vehicles. It's just too hard to maintain the fight, because it's every time we lose something, you know, we lose some tickets, and tickets are obviously at quite a premium at the moment. They've also started to recap A, but it's not the worst thing in the world for us, because we know where at least one of them is, but it's not good either, because now their tickets aren't going down, and we're just getting wrecked. So it was right here that I kind of realized, yeah, game's kind of over. We're probably not going to win, but, you know, just keep on trucking. Why not? There's something down here that's capping. Maybe I can get a sneaky last kill, and, you know, just sweeten that reward. Take her on the run shot at a plane, because you never know. When you're having a good game like I feel like I'm having in this match, you might as well take those shots. But there's a T-34-57 who's just chilling over here. I need to get sight on him to stop the cap. But because his range is... There he is. I could have killed him much faster than I ended up doing it. Just if I was a better shot, basically. But, you know, I got lucky before. I hit some long range shots. So you can't really complain when you've had good luck all game long. He does something weird here. I think he realizes that they're just going to win. There's no reason for him to sit in the cap. So he goes out of the cap, stops capping, which is fine by me, but, you know, he must have had a plan. I don't know if his plan involved me killing him, but it's going to be an issue for him. There you go. Nice shot. But, yeah, we don't have much left. They've got way, I think, just looking at it, they just have, it just seems like their planes are just sort of dominating us. They can just bomb us at will. And, you know, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. Had a great game. Got 1,500 credits, whatever. But, you know, you just can't complain when you have games like that. That was a fun game. It was, you know, on your edge of your seat action the whole time. Finished second. Someone even had an even better game. And it was just great fun. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. I've been Corny Swiss, and I'll see you next time for more War of Thunder.